Hi, this is Lara at Elliott Wave Gold with your daily analysis for Monday 30th of June. I'm recording the video 4:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I was expecting sideways movement for 1 or 2 days to complete a B wave correction. It was over within 1 day, quicker than expected. It was the alternate hourly wave count was correct. It ended as a triangle, very slightly below the target for that one to end. After that, prices started to shoot up strongly. Minor wave B is over, and minor wave C upwards is now underway. I am expecting that minor wave C will be brief in duration and length. It could be over really soon, or it could last maybe another couple of days or so. Let's have a look at the charts, and it's time to step back and have a look at the weekly chart again, because this triangle for primary 4 is so close to completion. From the all-time high here, I have this wave count that looks so typical. It looks almost like a textbook. We have 1 is a 5-wave impulse, 2 is a rear running flat, 3 subdivides perfectly on the daily chart as an impulse, and it has a 1.618 Fibonacci ratio to the first wave. The fourth wave is a sideways moving triangle, is showing nice structural alternation with the second wave. The fourth wave is shallow, the second wave was relatively deep. We have perfect alternation. The second wave completed in 53 weeks. The fourth wave is now in its 53rd week, so when it's done, they are going to be absolutely perfectly in proportion. For the fourth wave triangle, I'm expecting intermediate wave E to undershoot or fall short of this AC trend line, but if it does the other thing it could do and overshoots that trend line, I expect it to find resistance at the upper edge of this channel, which perfectly contains this downward movement. This one's drawn using Elliott's first technique from 1 to 3, draw the first trend line, and then place a parallel copy on the end of 2. When the fourth wave triangle is complete, I'll then expect a primary degree fifth wave down, which could be over within a month. Primary wave 1 lasted only 3 weeks. Primary wave 5 could be that brief in duration, or it could last a bit longer. I'm expecting it to be equal in length with primary wave 1 most likely. This was just over $388 in length. So that would see primary wave 5 taking gold to below $1,000. The other comment I want to make about this chart is if you see a wave count on a weekly chart for gold with the end of the first wave anywhere other than this point, if you see it here or here, then it should be clearly explained how that movement subdivides as a 5. First waves may only subdivide as 5-wave structures. If primary wave 1 is labelled over here, it looks really clearly like a 3, not a 5. It can't be labelled as complete here as a leading diagonal because leading diagonals may not have truncated fifth waves. That would be an invalid wave count. This is the best place to see primary wave 1, and it has perfect alternation and proportion with 2 and 4 when we do that. This wave count looks absolutely perfect. It looks like a textbook. Let's have a look at the daily chart where intermediate C of the triangle is this point here. All the subwaves of this triangle subdivide as corrective structures. They are all single or double zigzags, with only one being the double zigzag, intermediate wave C here. Intermediate wave E is really close to completion. The B wave within it is now over, and I'm expecting the C wave to be shorter in time and length than the A wave. At 1343, minor wave C would reach 0.382 the length of minor wave A. And that would see intermediate wave E nicely fall short of the AC trend line, which is the most common place for E waves of triangles to end, and this I wave also fell well short over here. This upwards movement could be over really quickly. We will see after the first 5 up is unfolded, we'll see what happens after that. That's going to tell us if intermediate wave E is over already. Intermediate wave E may not move beyond the end of C above 1392.30, so if it overshoots the AC trend line, I'd expect it to find resistance at the upper edge of the maroon trend line and not move above this point. Let's have a look at the hourly chart with the end of minor A up here. is this point up here. So minor wave B was a triangle and all of its subwaves are single zigzags. It's over here, and the E wave, again, nicely fell short of the AC trend line, again the most common place for E waves to end. My only concern and question for this wave count today is what degree of labelling to label this upwards movement. When I first saw it, I labelled it 1 degree higher, and that would see minor wave C extremely close to completion. It could be over within a few short hours, and that is entirely possible. I think it's a bit more likely to take a bit longer than that though, probably another 1 or maybe 2 days. When we have the first 5 wave structure up complete, we will then expect a second wave correction. I will draw a Fibonacci retracement along the length of the 5 wave impulse up, and I'll use the 0.382, 0.5 and 0.618 Fibonacci ratios. 0.5 isn't a Fibonacci ratio, but it's still useful. I'll use those ratios as targets for the downward second wave to end. It will be the structure of how that movement unfolds is going to give us the first indication as to whether or not minor wave C is over. A second wave correction may not move beyond the start of the first wave below 1310.43. If that invalidation point is breached after we have a 5 wave structure up, then price movement below this point tells us the triangle for primary wave 4 in its entirety is over, and a primary degree 5th wave to the downside is underway. But I'm going to label this as not minute wave 1 complete yet. I'm going to expect it's a bit more likely that minor wave C will last a wee bit longer than that, and that only minute wave 1 within it is nearly complete. The second wave correction, if it's followed by an increase in upward momentum, would fit this labelling, this degree of labelling. Once I know where minute waves 3 and 4 within minor C have ended, I will add to the target calculation at a second wave degree to calculate the target at multiple degrees, so it may widen to a small zone, or as we get close to the end, it may change. For now, a small 4th wave correction is underway, probably incomplete, and it can't move into first wave price territory below 1319.27. This whole movement for minor wave C could take another 2 or 3 days, but just a word of caution and warning, it could be over really, really soon, in a few hours. We'll see what happens when the first 5 up is complete. That's all for me today with your gold analysis, and I hope that all our members had a fabulous weekend.